Pull up a chair, folks. Tonight we're headed to New York City. Wednesday night, April 23rd, 1952. NBC's The Kate Smith Evening Hour is humming. Those hot studio lights are popping like July bugs, and the grand ole Opry has hauled a little slice of Nashville up the eastern seaboard. Roy Acuff steps to the mic, steady as a church bell, and says the name that could hush a room from Lower Broadway to a lonesome two-lane, Hank Williams. Now picture it the way it came through on living room sets in black and white. Hank in a pale suit and a white Stetson, guitar riding high. Behind him, the TV set dressed like a country store porch, just enough boards and rafters to make city folks feel the breeze of Tennessee. He doesn't waste words. He gives a half smile, thanks everybody, and eases into the tune that changed his life and bent pop radio toward the South. Cold, Cold Heart. Y'all sit back now and enjoy a short clip, and then we'll dive into the full story behind the appearance.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Mighty nice. Smoky Mountain Boys, bass for Brother Oswald. We brought a fellow with us that you folks enjoyed so much here the other time, and we're happy that we could bring him back to the program. A fellow that writes just as many songs as most anybody in the country and sings them just as well when it comes to the country style of singing. Hank Williams.
Thank you, Roy. I've got a song here that I'd like to do that's been awful kind to me and the boys. It's bought us quite a few beans and biscuits. This is the best song we've ever had financially. A little tune called Cold, Cold Heart. I try so hard, my dear, to show that you're my every dream. Yet you're afraid each thing I do, it's just some evil scheme. A memory from your lonesome past keeps us so far apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? Another love before my time made your heart sad and blue. And so my heart is paying now for things I didn't do. In anger, unkind words are said that make the teardrops start. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? There was a time when I believed that you belonged to me. But now I know your heart is shackled to a memory. The more I learn to care for you, the more we drift apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart?
You could hear it in the first line, that Hank tremble, that catch where the truth lives. The song had already been a monster on the country charts the year before, and Tony Bennett had turned it into a pop standard, crooned it all the way to #1. So when Hank hit those chords on national television, he wasn't just singing to the Opry faithful. He was singing to folks who'd first met that melody out of a supper club speaker. And he knew it. He even joked that the song had bought him plenty of beans and biscuits. That's country for paid the bills. Look close at his eyes in that clip, steady as a rifle sight. TV can rattle even old pros, but Hank stares right down the barrel like it owes him money. The camera's tight, the backdrop simple, and it puts all the weight where it belongs. On that voice, on that right hand driving the rhythm, on the way a line like, "I've tried so hard, my dear," can sound like he wrote it 5 minutes ago and didn't sleep a wink getting there. This wasn't some novelty booking. Kate Smith's hour was prime time, Wednesday nights on NBC, and this particular show carried an Opry showcase. Roy Acuff, the Carter sisters, Mother Maybelle, country royalty under Manhattan bulbs. Hank had actually come up once already that spring, March 26th, for "Hey, Good Lookin'" and a hand-clapping chorus of "I Saw the Light." But April 23rd would be the last time America saw him live on television. That's the gravity of it. Lights, cables, applause sign, history hiding in plain sight. Now here's where the night widens out. After Cold, Cold Heart, some surviving prints and logs show Hank also sang, "I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You." The kind of heart-slow waltz that fits a TV lens like a maid shirt. And there on the same program were the Carters, June with that sparkle in her voice, Anita with the satin harmony, and Roy, the king of country music, lending his halo to the proceedings. You can feel the Opry spirit in the way they lay it out. No gimmicks, no fuss, just songs built to last. What made that performance hit so hard wasn't just timing, though that mattered. Hank was 28. Famous as a fire, fragile as one, too. In the months ahead, he'd be on a rough road. Bad back, bad medicine, bad nights. The Opry would cut ties that August, and he'd drift back toward Shreveport's hayride. But on April 23rd, the country's living rooms got him straight and strong, clean pickin', clear meter, and that look that says, "I know exactly what I'm here to do." It's one of the very few film documents of Hank singing live, and it shows why his songs traveled so easily between honky-tonks and tuxedo clubs. A plain Alabama line dressed up just enough to sit at any table. Think about the alchemy at work. Cold, Cold Heart started life as a flip side, the B to Dear John. DJs and jukeboxes flipped the platter and wouldn't flip back. Then Bennett's pop version put Hank's hurt in a different suit and marched it into ballrooms. So when Hank brought the original back to national TV, the current closed. Country to pop and back again, all in one circuit, with the man who wrote it holding the wire. If you've ever stood in a TV hallway waiting your turn, you know the little sounds. The floor manager's count, somebody's coat rustling, a steel guitar finding pitch. Imagine Hank taking a breath while Roy Acuff nods. The Carters just off camera, that big NBC peacock long before it bloomed in color. It's a Nashville Saturday night unfolding on a New York Wednesday, and no one in the room knows they're filming the last time Hank Williams will meet the nation eye to eye. He died 8 months later, the morning of January 1st, 1953, on the road to Canton, Ohio. But that April performance hangs in the air because of what it proves, that all the fuss around Hank, the rumors, the troubles, melted when the red light blinked on. The man could deliver. He could put a whole complicated life into 2 verses and a chorus, and he could do it on a stage that wasn't built for him and make it feel like home. So when you watch that clip, don't just look at the hat and the grin. Listen to how the band breathes with him. Listen to how a country song that paid for beans and biscuits also bought country music a seat on the big city couch. That's the legacy of April 23rd, 1952. One song, one singer, and a line from the Opry Circle to America's front rooms that's never really been broken. And if you're feeling a little lump in your throat by the fade out, well, friend, that's Hank doing what Hank always did. He told the truth, and he told it plain.